rehabilitate himself after being coerced into an industry-funded antipsychotic study. I'm assuming this audience knows about the Markington case. Last spring, 2 reviews, one of that case in particular, found evidence of coercion, profound conflicts of interest, a superficial, porous system of research oversight, and a climate of fear and intimidation in the Department of Psychiatry that made staff members afraid to speak up on behalf of patients. Now, if you look at our scandals, in a lot of ways, they fit that historical pattern. It took 11 years for Dan Markington's mother to get any kind of vindication. That fits the pattern. Nobody at the University of Minnesota has been sanctioned or punished in any way for the wrongdoing. Again, that fits the pattern. University officials, including the president, misled the public with deceptive statements for years before they were finally exposed. Again, that fits the pattern. Now, where the University of Minnesota stands out, I think, is how consistent its response has been over such a long period of time. It doesn't matter who was speaking. It could be the president, could be the board of regents, could be the dean, could be the general counsel, could be the communications office. No matter who it was, the answer was always the same. And that answer was, we did nothing wrong, we have been exonerated, and we're not answering your questions. So it was that, but it wasn't just that. The university has been remarkably aggressive towards its critics. And I don't just mean the fact that the university filed a legal action against Dan Markington's mother, demanding that she pay the University of Minnesota $57,000, although that's pretty aggressive. I've never come across this term anyway. Another university that was willing to file a legal action against a dead research subject's family. What I'm talking about here at the U is the strategy of defending yourself by trying to discredit and smear your critics. Now, as you can see, a lot of that has been directed at me, of course. And that message has been consistent no matter who it's come from the PR office up to the dean. That message is, I was lying, I was distorting the facts, I was on a crusade against the university, I was just trying to sell my books. Apparently, the notion that anyone at the University of Minnesota might actually be trying to protect research subjects was so bizarre and unfamiliar that it never even entered their minds. Now, as I said, a lot of that was against me, but it wasn't all me. For example, when Nikki Jerry, a psychiatric nurse at Fairview, and by the way, a member of our IRB at the university for over 17 years, when Nikki Jerry spoke to a reporter last year about the Markington case, the university's PR office went on the attack against her as well, saying that she had no credibility to speak about the case. Now, Nikki knows how to defend herself, so do I. I'm a tenured professor here. I have some protection. But patients don't have that kind of protection. Some of you may know of the ongoing controversy regarding a patient named Robert Hewer. Robert was coerced into testing an unapproved antipsychotic while he was confined to a locked unit at Fairview under a 72-hour emergency hold. And years later, when he finally worked up the courage to speak to a reporter about his case, the university communications office accessed his medical records and then used his private medical history in an effort to try and discredit him. And since that kind of action has been since sanctioned and endorsed by the dean, I can assume that we'll be seeing more of that in the future. Now, today, since those 2 external reviews, of course, the PR strategy has changed. It says we're reforming our policies, we're looking forward. This conference, for example, is proof of our good faith. But the fact is, the problem here at the U has never been our policies. It's been our people. That's why, when the legislative auditor reviewed the Markington case, he singled out the actions of the university leaders as the single most troubling aspect of the scandal. And of course, that's never been on the agenda. From the very beginning of this controversy, up until today, the university has sent out a single, consistent, but unspoken message. Here's what that unspoken message says. If you break the rules, we'll look the other way. If you harm a research subject, we'll cover it up. If somebody speaks out, we will do our best to harass and discredit them and make them regret it. And until that message is admitted and disavowed, and the people responsible for it have been sanctioned, I can't see anything at this university changing. Thank you.